Do you see my presentation? Perfect. Well, I'm excited to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. This will be a walk through many of the projects where we have different kinds of co-creation and in different parts of the process and in different scale. The vision of Oceanhamnen is an urban archipelago, a district of islands. Canals through the piers and new landfills are creating this new structure with the purpose of making the water present in every part of the district. The first phase with the park in Dockan in the circle is now built, and if any of you visited the H22 City Expo 3 years ago, you probably have been there. And the rest is under planning and developing. This is a photo from the 1930s, and you see the construction of the piers in Oceanhamnen. Helsingborg, as a city, has developed from the fortification and ferry port by Öresund and along the coast. It's quite next to Denmark, actually. The developing harbor and the shipyard soon grow out in the sound, together with the railway, creating a great barrier between the city and the waterfront. The harbor and the ferries still are an important part of Helsingborg identity, and thousands of people have spent many years of their lives working there. To even more, it has been a totally closed area. When the project with the new urban district started, the harbor had moved south of the city, and the area was locked. There were no inhabitants or workers there to connect with. And of course, there was a lot of fascinating physical remains, but no people. Together with Lund University, the city started a project collecting memories from the harbor. We were interviewing people, most elderly, having worked there, and some of their children as well. It gave us a picture of the site with a personal touch, stories of what sausages a man in the crane by the dock ate, and where there was a good place to swim. This was all collected in a report and on a website. In order to make the present people of Helsingborg connect to the former closed harbor area, the city started events, art projects, and arranged concerts on the Oslo Pier over 10 years ago. To stimulate initiatives and involvement, we developed the concept of Pixla Piren, Pixel the Pier. It was like having a great canvas divided into pixels of 10 by 10 meters, where you can develop your own ideas and dreams. And it was all changing over time. There were street art walls and skating tracks. And there were gardens, urban farming, labyrinths and castles built. And of course, events like concerts and culture festivals. The project ended last year as we had to start cleaning the soil from contamination in order to develop the area more permanently. The energy of many of these initiatives were already ebbing away. Some of them ended and some transformed or moved to other places. Now in perspective, Pixla Piren taught us a great deal. It gave us a structure to work with these kind of projects and different initiatives. But above all, it gave us a transformation of the mental barrier to let go of control. Dockan is one of the old dry docks that belonged to the Helsingborg shipyard. Initially, in the transformation of Oceanhamnen, the function of the dock was not obvious. But now everyone agrees on the value of a green park and a playground in this place, and the importance of building it early in the development of a district in order to establish a meeting place and attraction to the area. The ship of the dock and the old shipyard crane are protected as valuable cultural heritages and are now restored and can be experienced by coming generations. In Helsingborg, we work strategically with our playgrounds. The bigger ones we call excursion playgrounds, and they are located to support integration between different districts. Most often, we use a theme for the design and the story of the playground, and most often we ask the children what they think. After all, they are the experts when it comes to playing. In this case, we had a competition where all the children of Helsingborg could propose a theme. Hundreds of proposals were sent in, and against our expectations, a great majority said jungle. We choose to work with two groups of children, one from a kindergarten and two girls in the age of 11. It is a challenge to work with children in these early stages. From the competition, it took 4 years before the playground was finished, and that is an infinite amount of time for a child. Some of the children in the project were twice as old at the inauguration. The children expressed it as it is important to feel that you enter another world or atmosphere. And they are totally right. The jungle is exactly what this place needs. The greenery and the jungle animals as a contrast to both the harsh industrial heritage and the urban context in the highly exploited new district. To broaden the experience of the jungle and to give those who may not see or can climb an opportunity to experience the place as well, we have also worked with jungle sounds in different sound scenarios. A 16-channel sound system allows you to hear the parrots flying over the park. And in addition, a gorilla has its own interactive sounds, and the giraffe posts have whispering speakers that tell children of the jungle facts. This creates such a strong jungle feeling that some people find it eerie when it gets quiet. When a project is built, we usually celebrate with an inauguration party. It is an important milestone to the process to reconnect with people and the children involved. It is also an opportunity to meet and have discussions or get input from a bigger group. In the case of the jungle playground in Dockan, the interest of this event was huge, and it was a really good time. Dockan and the Jungle Playground have after this received many awards, as the Red Dot Award for Best of the Best, Landmarket, the Best Swedish Landscape Architecture of 2022, and the ISA for the Soundscape and the Universal Design. Just next to the jungle, we have placed one of our new family toilets. Many children are not comfortable going to public toilets, as also many adults are. To change this, we have developed new toilets in dialogue with the children and our contractor. We had some deep interviews with a group of children to learn what is important to them in this matter. They are designed to match the playgrounds and are, for example, less noisy and more spacious, so you don't have to leave a part of your family outside. There is also a small toilet chair beside the ordinary one, and are welcoming zebras and everyone else. This facility contributes to the attraction of the excursion playgrounds, making a day-long visit with the family easy. Just beside the Dockan Park, we have a quay we call the People's Walk. Here, we wanted to use the H22 Expo as an opportunity to reach out to the citizens and their needs and dreams. This were made in two ways. Firstly, we assembled a focus group of elderly people, helping us defining activities and functions of their perspectives. This picture is from some interviews in 2021 during the pandemic. And secondly, as a part of a bigger process, Fair Share, that I'm not have the time for here, we wanted to ask the visitors at the Expo age 22 what messages of equity they would like to send to the future. And we had a competition for students of architecture how to do this. And this is the winning proposal, a tower of bottle trays. It was a great landmark. It was made of reusable material and with a very poetical meaning. This is the appearance of the tower from the expo. And we collected the messages in bottles like this. And just next to the red tower, we had a machine engraving the messages onto reused stones, of which we now have built the People's Walk. This is from the inauguration just some weeks ago, with the politicians, neighbors, and peoples from the focus group. And you see maybe the paving, but not the messages, I think. The place also have, according to the focus group with the seniors, a shelter from the weather in the container that is decorated by an artist. There is a bull court, 2 exercise bikes next to each other as a social activity. There are flowering plants and comfortable furniture. And this is just beside Dockan. You see the yellow walls over there, and the machine is constructing the People's Walk when this picture was taken. The raft in the water may not look so special, but it is actually a pilot for mussel farming. As the water in the basins is actually really clean, we had this idea of trying out mussel farming as a participation project. At the first meeting to test the interests from the residents, almost 200 people showed up. So the interest was huge, not only from the people living in Oceanhamnen, in fact, mostly came from other districts. And a small group of them formed an association to run this pilot. The mussels are grown in socks like this. And after 2 years, we will evaluate the results. Are the mussels eatable? After the summer now, it is time for the testing, and we are really hoping we can scale it up and letting more people come together and farm their own food like this. An overall strategy in Helsingborg is the vision of a continuous beach and quayside walk to connect the city. In Oceanhamnen, as everywhere, actually, the outdoor public spaces are dedicated to all citizens of Helsingborg, not only the people living there. We have made an effort to create destination points and experience along the quays to provide a varied walk and for everyone to find something of interest. We have had different competitions and collaborations on the design of many of these places. This place is called Landgång and Microcosmos and is made by the Danish landscape architect Spogel and the Swedish artist Gunilla Bandolin. They have used the names and terms of the harbor and, for example, distant destinations from the stories in the memory collection I talked of earlier, and it is now casted into the paving. And the net on the bridge symbolizes that the water in history as now is not a barrier, it is connecting you to Denmark or other parts of the world. Would you dare go there? Another bridge along the quay has seating on rail tracks, a flirt to the old crane rails along the docks. This way you can arrange the seating the way you want, to be alone or for the whole gang as you like it, or just push them around and play with them. The next step of the waterfront walk is this part by the old warehouse 405. If any of you visited the H22 Expo, this is where IKEA showed how this building and the place in front of it could be activated. It is one of the very few old buildings in the area, and therefore it's precious. It is now owned by the city, but in order to get the right and public content that can generate value as a meeting point and vitalizer, we are now planning a land allocation competition. And this is the procedure for contracting builders. But in this case, we will also ask for collaborations with one or many operating contents, as restaurants, museums, or, for example, a marine exhibition. And this will then be considered in the evaluation of the competition. And this is a new way for us. And we are very excited now to find out what this building will host and what possibilities there is to co-create and activate the K as well. And if we return to the Pixlapiren, next to that area, by the end of the harbor basin, Banana Bay developed some years ago. This is quite close to where we planned a bathing facility with floating pools. So at the initiative from the residents and by reusing plants and furniture, we created this temporary bath area called Banana Bay. The residents took it to their hearts and they even voluntarily took care of it. It is important to catch the energy of this public involvement and dedication. And sadly, we needed to restore the quay, so Banana Bay was closed last year. But we have had the opportunity to talk to and listen to what the people want for the future. And this made us turn our plans for the floating sea bath inside out. The new vision for the permanent sea bath in the harbor basin is now called Banana Bay as well, with generous wooden decks to enjoy the sun and a swim from morning to evening. And a raft with a diving tower for the kids to impress each other and show off. And maybe we can have baths in the rest of the harbor basin as well, with floating saunas and more of the mussel rafts. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for such a presentation. It's really, really inspiring to hear all about this great project of Oceanhamnen, and especially looking at the placemaking process, because really that the examples that you shared today, they all pay an attention to the hardware, the software, and the hardware. You pay attention at the same time to the memory of the old harbor, but also the floor for experiments, creativity, and inclusion and diversity in the participatory different initiatives, and then embodying that on the long term, on the design, but also on the community that you try to sustain and create here. So it's really inspiring. And for me that have been there for the age 22, it's really, I also learned a lot of good tools to make those this project co-created. So thank you for this.